Hello and welcome, I'm your Code Monkey, and in this video we're going to make a tooltip in Unity. Let's begin. So over here I have a generic UI window. It has some text and some buttons. Now we would like to display some extra information when we pass the mouse over each button and each label. So we're going to use a tooltip to do that. First let's create our tooltip in the editor. So let's go into the canvas, and here first of all create a new empty game object, name it tooltip. Now inside we're going to need text and a background. So for the background just add a simple image, and for the text add the text, give it a font size of about 12 and position it on the lower left corner. Now we're going to anchor both of these to the lower left corner and put them all on 0. Alright, so just like that we have this game object that we want to move around. Now the size of the background doesn't matter since it will be dynamically modified based on whatever text we give it. And for the text, let's just put it on 4 and 4 so we have a little bit of a border so the text is easier to read. And finally disable raycast target just in case we need to click through our tooltip. Alright, so that's the transform for our tooltip. Now let's make the class to actually handle the code. So in new C# script and name it tooltip. So in here we're going to have two functions, a private void show tooltip and a private void hide tooltip. First thing we do is just set the game object to active, either true or false, in order to show or hide the tooltip. For the show tooltip as a parameter we're going to receive a string for the tooltip string. And inside we're going to set the text. So in order to keep our code nice and simple, let's first grab references on our awake. Okay, so first things first, set the tooltip text.text to our tooltip string. And now we need to calculate the size of our background. So we do a vector 2 for our background size. Now to get the width, we get the tooltip text dot preferred width, and for the height, the tooltip text dot preferred height. This will give us the exact size that our text is occupying while using this string. So we offset our text by a little bit in the editor in order to make it easier to read, so we need to add that in here as well. So we define a float for the text padding size, and we set it at 4. So we're going to increase the background size by the padding multiplied by 2 since we got padding on the left and on the right side. And finally we simply set the background rect transform.size delta to be this background size. Okay, so now for testing, let's show it with some text. So we go up here and we simply do a show tooltip, and let's give it some random tooltip text. Alright, so let's test. And yep, there's the tooltip, and as you can see the text is correctly displayed and the background is also correctly sized to match whatever text we put it. Now let's try with some random text to see how the background is correctly changing. Okay, so here is some simple testing code. I'm creating a function periodic, which is part of the CodeMonkey utilities that you can grab for free from unitycodemonkey.com. Now, essentially, this will run this action every half a second. So we're going to define a string with just a bunch of random characters, and we're going to cycle through it between 30 and 150 times and increase by adding to our show text a simple character from this string, and afterwards show the tooltip. So essentially, this will always be random. So let's see if our code is correctly resizing our background regardless of what text we give it. And yep, as you can see, regardless of the random text that goes in, it correctly resizes the background to match whatever is in there. And it works even with multi-line text. Okay, now let's make our tooltip follow the mouse. So in order to do that, let's go to the update. So in here we can get the screen mouse position using input.mousePosition. However, this is the screen position of the mouse and not the UI position, so we need to do a conversion. So in order to do that, we're going to use the rect transform utility and do a screen point to local point in rectangle. For the rectangle we want to convert into is going to be our transform.parent. For the screen point, we're going to use the mouse position. For the camera, we're going to need a reference to our UI camera. And finally, we return this value into a local point. So we need the reference to our camera, so let's go up here, make a private camera for the UI camera and make it a serialized field so we can set it in the editor. And here it requires a rect transform, so let's do a get component. Okay, so with this we are correctly converting the input.mouse position into a position inside the parent of this transform. So we have the local point, which is the local position. So in here, all we need to do is set the transform.local position to be this local point. Okay, so let's test and see if the tooltip is following the mouse. Make sure we drag the camera onto here. Now, since we are setting up our canvas to use screen space camera, then we need our UI camera reference. But if we were using screen space overlay, then we would not need the camera reference and we would simply leave it as null. So let's see. And yep, there you go. As you can see, the tooltip is randomly changing. The background still works, everything still works, and it is now following the mouse. Okay, now let's make some static functions to show and hide our tooltip. So we're going to make a public static void show tooltip static and give it the same parameter, so a string for the tooltip string. And we're going to have a public static void hide tooltip static. We're creating static functions so we can easily use this class from any other class we need. So all we need is to go up here and create a private static tooltip for our instance, and on awake set the instance to this. And here simply do instance.show tooltip, give it the tooltip string, and same thing in here. Alright, so we now got these two public functions that we can use from elsewhere in our code. So just for testing, we're going to add a tooltip to these buttons and these labels to see how we could use this on a final game. These buttons have a button UI component, which again is part of the CodeMonk utilities. It's a very simple function that has some classes so that we can move over and click our button, which is what we're going to need in order to implement our tooltip. So just for testing, create a new C# script. This will be our window. So on the button UI, I have a mouse over once func, which triggers an action only once when the mouse goes over the button, which is exactly what we need in order to show our tooltip. So the action when I pass the mouse over will go into the tooltip class and call the show tooltip static to, in this case, say attack. And then I have the mouse out once func, which triggers once when the mouse leaves the button, so it is perfect for the hide tooltip static. So let's apply this to all the buttons and all the labels. Okay, so here it is, pretty simple. We have some strings that will be displayed when we pass the mouse over the button, and then when we leave the button, we simply hide the tooltip. So let's see that in action. Okay, here's the window, and if I pass the mouse over, yep, there you go. I got a nice tooltip saying this is the attack button, this is the defend button, the patrol, health amount, movement speed, and attack damage. And as you can see, it follows the mouse, so now we can easily give the player some extra information whenever we need to. So there you have it. We created a tooltip to display extra information to the player while making the code dynamically adapt to the size of whatever text we give it. In the next video, we're going to make sure our tooltip never leaves the screen and is always on top. As always, you can download the project files and utilities from unitycodemonkey.com. If you have any questions, post them in the comments and I'll do my best to answer them. Subscribe for more videos and I'll see you next time.